Kia ora New Zealand. In your top stories today, an inquiry into the Bethlehem College minivan crash in Kenya will investigate why the group didn't tell Kenyan police a driver swap had been made. It's been revealed ex-pupil David Fellows was driving at the time of the fatal accident, not a Kenyan man as previously reported. Bethlehem College Board of Trustees Chair Greg Hollister-Jones says a private investigator will look into whether there was dishonesty and whether the group was trying to get out of the country as soon as possible.
I think that's something that our parent community and the parents of those on the trip will want to know.
And the families of those affected by the minivan crash in Kenya are said to have accepted the news that David Fellows was driving. Greg Hollister-Jones admits there was shock at first.
But I have to say that when I visited the families of the deceased, that they were nothing other than gracious. They said that this didn't change things for them.
Meanwhile, the government says it'll consider any request from Kenyan authorities over the driver switch. Foreign Minister Murray McCully says he's had no approach for Mr Fellows to be extradited at this stage.
Well, it's a matter for the Kenyan authorities to determine what steps they want to take. Clearly, after the accident, there was a picture of some confusion.
And state emergency service crews are searching an area west of Brisbane where it's feared 2 men were swept away in floodwaters. Both men disappeared driving near Gatton on Sunday morning, and one of their cars was found overnight in a flooded creek. Meanwhile, it's gone from one extreme to the other in Queensland after recent flooding. A fire warning has been issued for many parts of the state. There are expected to be dry, fresh and gusty southeast to southwest winds, and temperatures are expected to hit 43 degrees in some places with 10% humidity and winds of up to 35 kilometres an hour. And learning to be impartial is the biggest challenge facing the man set to become Parliament's next Speaker, along with opposition parties who are furious about a lack of consultation over the change. Long-term National MP David Carter has been nominated by his party to replace Lockwood Smith.
Having been a very political, active player for 18 years in this place, the transition I have to make if I'm elected to be Speaker is to be completely without bias. That is a big ask, but I will do it to the best of my endeavours.
And the search for a man missing near Bowingtown in the Bay of Plenty will today focus on the shoreline. Tim Meir from Katikati is believed to have been swept away after the boat he and 4 others were in flipped near the notorious northern entrance to the Tauranga harbour on Monday afternoon. Of the 4 passengers in the boat, only Mr Meir's 7-year-old grandson was wearing a life jacket. An outgoing US Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, told a worldwide audience via the internet the new government in Israel could lead to renewed peace negotiations with the Palestinians.
I think the outcome of the election, in which a significant percentage of the Israeli electorate chose to express themselves by saying, you know, we need a different path than the one we have been pursuing, internally and with respect to the Middle East peace process.
And now to sport, where the English cricket team has arrived in Auckland to prepare for 3 2020 matches against the Blackcaps. T20 captain Stuart Broad says the external talk about the Blackcaps' recent problems means little to them.
No, I mean, as I've mentioned, we know the dangers New Zealand pose. I mean, any team that have got Brendan McCullum in a 2020 in a one-day team, Ross Taylor, these boys, they can smash it miles.
And finally, a study shows 8 hours of sleep a night is good but not essential. Sydney University researchers say we all have our own sleep patterns which naturally increase and decrease throughout the week. Our body tends to signal the need to catch up on extra sleep, and sometimes it can take up to 18 days to feel refreshed again. And that was your news headlines for Wednesday the 30th of January. Ka te kite anō.